Childbirth is the miracle of life. Feeling your muscles tighten up so much that you can hardly breathe. But it's all worth it in the end. Because when you see that child you've been waiting for 9 months, it is all worth it at the end. When I gave birth to each one of my children, my heart was filled with so much joy, but I knew that my life would never be the same again. Each pregnancy, delivery, and newborn baby were all different from one another. These are my experiences with pregnancy, delivery, and how each baby was when they were first born. First, I'll be talking about pregnancy. My pregnancies were completely different from each other. With Ty, my oldest, I was 18 when I got pregnant with him. I worked in a meatpacking plant, and the smell of raw meat was just not good for me. I had to always leave the line and go up to the bathroom and throw up. I also worked at Canterbury Downs on the backside in the kitchen. And to this day, I cannot eat broccoli and cheese because so many of the workers on the backside didn't really have that much money. So they would order broccoli and cheese because that was the cheapest thing on the menu. But for me, it made me sick. And I think I was nauseous almost the whole 9 months with him. The only thing that settled my stomach was Rocky Rococo pizza. With Blaine, it was tomatoes. I don't know what that was about, but I don't know if it was the salt or the acidity, but I had to have tomatoes. I wasn't really sick with him, and I really didn't show until I was about 6 months along. And I didn't want to tell my family because they thought that one child was enough for us. And if we had another baby so soon, which my children are each 2 years apart, that we would struggle more. But they all found out and they were happy. Brandy, I ate everything. It didn't matter what it was. I craved food. And I think I got the biggest from her. My stomach felt so huge and I felt like a whale. Now that I've talked about my pregnancies, I'm going to talk about my deliveries. With Ty, it was scheduled. We called the family in. I got in my hospital gown and on the bed. They had the IV in and my water broke. It felt like I was in a pool of water. And when the contractions came, it felt like a huge Charlie horse in my stomach. And they say if you breathe, hee hee hoo hoo, that is supposed to help. For me, it just made me lightheaded and wanted to pass out. They wheeled me down the hallway to the delivery room, and I had him in 5 hours. After he came out, which the doc said, he popped out like a football. There's the afterbirth, and you have to push that out too. The nurse at the time pushed on my stomach to help me deliver the afterbirth. Her nails went so deep in my stomach, you could see the nail indentation in my stomach. Blaine, he was easy. He was 3 hours. Nothing too major. I had a few contractions, which were kind of light, not too bad. and a couple pushes, and there he was. Brandy was a different story. I almost had her at the elevator in the hospital. I was so panicked. I couldn't find anybody to watch the boys and get a ride, so we barely made it to the hospital. And she came out, and she was a beautiful baby girl. Now that I've talked about my deliveries, I'm going to talk about each kid. Ty was the easiest. Ty was the perfect baby. Eat, sleep, and poop. That's all he did. And that awesome baby smell, Johnson & Johnson lotion, baby lotion, it is just perfect. You couldn't ask for any better baby. He slept most of the night, and he was just an awesome child. Blaine, on the other hand, was very colicky. All he did was cry. I'd walk him and rock him and feed him, and he just cried. Doctor said he was okay, but who were they to say? They weren't at home. So I just dealt with that for 6 months of crying. Brandy, she was Daddy's little girl, and she only liked her daddy to hold her. So soft skin, and she just liked hearing his voice. Well, that's a little bit about my pregnancies, my delivery, and how each child was when they came home. Watching my body grow and the pain I went through with each delivery was all forgotten the moment I saw each child. Childbirth truly is a miracle, and I would do it all over again if I had to.